Welcome everyone to day 4 of your 7-day yoga journey. Today we're going to be working on Suryanamaskara A in a practice. So yesterday we learned all of the basics of the Sun Salutation A, and today we're going to put it in practice and flow. So like we did yesterday, we'll begin at the top of our mats, sitting in cross-leg position, whatever's comfortable for you. Grab your blocks if you need them. And we'll sit up nice and tall. Draw that crown of the head towards the ceiling. Nice tall spine. Close the eyes. And we'll move inwards to the breath. Paying attention to how the air flows in through the nose, down the chest, into the belly. And exhale, empty the belly, the chest, and out through the nose. Let's begin by planting our right hand by the right hip. Inhale that left arm up, overhead, and we'll just take a bend over to that right side. Roll the left shoulder open, so we're not collapsing the shoulder. Head and neck stay in a neutral position, and our shoulders are rolled away from the ears. Inhale to come back through center, and we'll switch sides. Left hand plants, same thing, opposite side. Draw the ribs, top of the right ribs up to the sky, and keep that right sit bone planted as we reach. Inhale brings you back up to center. Pause here. We'll switch the cross of the legs, whichever one was in front, just tuck it behind. And we'll start moving through some Sufi grinds. So just like we have the last couple of days, just making circles one way with your torso. Inhale brings you across, and exhale brings you down. Finding any sore spots in the body and giving them a little bit of extra love. Moving through 4 in one direction, and when we're finished our 4, we'll pause at center and switch sides. Try to keep the sit bones pressing down to the floor. Use the hands to gently press away from you in the back, and find your flow. When you're finished your Sufi grinds, let's meet again in tabletop, and we'll send the hips back for child's pose. So untuck the toes, but this time we'll keep the knees together and walk the chest down to the mat. So similar to yesterday, except for our knees are together. Staying here for a few deep breaths, reaching with the fingertips and relaxing that whole upper body down. Try to see if you can find any spots where your body might be holding tension. Take a deep breath and relax down a bit more. Inhale brings you back up to center, maybe grabbing a block and bringing it with you. We're going to move through puppy dog. So place the block underneath the chest, and just like you did yesterday, let's walk the hands forward, dropping the chest down, relaxing the forehead. If you want to try switching the height of the block today, or maybe removing the block, go ahead and do so. Hips are over the knees. Finding that nice stretch in the front body. Press through the hands, and we'll just come up with the right hand, reach it underneath the left shoulder, and come into your twist. Again, trying to keep the hips over the knees as best you can. Making sure there's no pinching, no pain in the neck. Just a nice stretch for that right shoulder. Inhale, press through that left arm, and we will switch sides. Reach the left arm under the right shoulder. Left cheek touches the mat. We'll stay here for 1 breath, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Next inhale, press through that right hand, come back up to tabletop. So wrists are under the shoulders, hips are under the knees, and we'll pivot on that right foot, coming into our gate posture. So extend the left leg, plant the left foot, make sure that right arm is underneath the right shoulder, and inhale, left arm comes up overhead. Option to face the palm towards the floor and reach that left hand over the head, drawing that left shoulder away from the ear. Finding lift in that left hip socket and drawing those left side ribs up to the sky. Inhale with control, release, and we will switch sides. So plant the feet back to center and we'll pivot on the left. Right foot comes out, plant the foot, and wait for your next inhale, and raise that right arm up and extend it over. Pressing through the fingers on the left hand, finding lift, so we're not dumping too much of our weight into that left wrist. We're really lifting out of that left hand and that left shoulder. Exhale to release and come back through center. We'll meet in tabletop once again. Walk the hands forward and we'll send the hips high for downward facing dog. Taking a moment, pedaling out the feet one at a time. Finding any movements your body may crave before we find stillness in the pose. Press through the hands, roll the elbows outwards, and keep a slight bend in those knees. See if you can lift the toes off of the mat and extend the knees just a little bit more. Shake your head yes and no. Next inhale, gaze between the hands, step up, and we'll come all the way up. Arms come up overhead. Exhale, hands through heart center. Let's get started with our sun salutations. Inhale, arms come up overhead, palms touch. Exhale to fold. Inhale, hands to shins, lift the back, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, come all the way down to the belly. Inhale to baby cobra, raise the chest. And exhale, tuck the toes, send the hips back for downward facing dog. Taking a moment to set up your down dog. Inhale, step that right foot in between the hands, pivot on the left, cartwheel the arms up, warrior two. So the left foot is parallel with the short edge of the mat and the right foot is facing forward. Shoulders are rolled up and back and the gaze is over that front middle finger. Breathing here, find lift through the crown of the head and the navel is drawing towards the spine. Exhale to release, and we'll just step to the top of our mat, switching sides. So wait for your next inhale, and we'll step the right foot back this time. Pivot on the right foot, so it's in line with the short edge of the mat. Left foot faces forward. Inhale, arms come out, reaching towards either side of the mat. Front knee is tracking over that left ankle. Warrior two, opposite side. Virabhadrasana, two, opposite side. Inhale, straighten the leg. This time we'll cartwheel the hands, step it back to plank, drop the knees down, and come up for your baby cobra. Tuck the toes, send the hips back, downward facing dog. Pausing here. Remember to keep the fingers pressing into the mat, so really gripping with the fingers, lifting just the bottom of the palm off of the mat. Inhale, gaze between the hands, step up, halfway lift, look up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead, palms touch, and exhale, hands come to heart center. And we'll do that again. Inhale, hands up, palms touch, exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift, look up, hands come to shins. Exhale, plant the hands, drop the knees, chest to chin. And inhale, this time we'll come up to cobra, so pressing a little further through those hands. And exhale, send the hips back, downward facing dog. Once again, we'll bring the gaze between the hands, step that right foot up, pivot on the left. Just like we did last time, draw the arms out for warrior two. Drawing those inner thighs together, finding lift. And we'll reach for our blocks, so hopefully you have them closer than I do, but if not, just take a moment and grab them. No biggie. And we'll place it on the inside, on the highest side, on the inside of that right foot. So we're going to come into what's called extended side angle. So the front knee is bent, and that right hand is reaching down towards the mat. Left arm is either reaching up towards the sky or overhead. Wherever we are, let's keep that left shoulder rolled open. So we're keeping an open chest, and that left shoulder is staying away from the right ear. Inhale to release, and we'll step up to the top of our mat. Just give the legs a little shake before we switch sides. Big step back with the right foot this time, setting up for warrior two on the opposite side. So inhale, the arms come out to the sides. Focus that drishti point, that point of focus, just over the front middle finger. And just take a gaze down and make sure you can see your front big toe past your knee. Let's reach for our block and set up for extended side angle. So same thing, opposite side. Left hand comes down to the block on the inner side of the left foot. And that right arm reaches either up towards the sky or reaches up overhead. Drawing the right shoulder away from the right ear. Inhale to release. And we'll frame the foot, step it back, come all the way down to your belly. Inhale, cobra, and exhale, step it back, downward facing dog. Holding here. Finding any little spots you might be holding tension, and just try to release them. Next inhale, let's gaze between the hands, step up, look up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, hands come up overhead, and exhale, hands through heart center. And we will go again. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift, look up. Exhale, step it back, come all the way down. Inhale, come up to your back bend. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step that right foot up ahead of you. We'll get the block ready this time. Exhale, drop the knee, front knee, warrior two. Shoulders roll back, crown of the head is lifted. The knife edge, so the long edge of the left foot is pressing down to the mat. Inhale, reach for your block, place it on the inner right foot, and we'll reach that left arm up overhead and come all the way across. This time, let's inhale. We're going to press through that right foot, straighten the right knee. You may need to play with where your block is, and we'll come into triangle. So we want to try and keep the torso and the lower body in one line. So as if we're in between two panes of glass. Reaching up with those left fingers, and then we'll exhale. We'll just step to the top of the mat. Give it a little shake. Take a pause. And we'll set up for the opposite side. So take a big step back with that right foot. Comes parallel with the short edge of the mat. Inhale, arms outstretch. Warrior two. Virabhadrasana 2. Deep breath here, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Inhale, reach for that block. Place it on the inside of the left foot. And reach overhead with that right arm. Extended side angle. You can gently press that left arm to the inner left leg, kind of reaching open with the chest. Inhale, straighten the leg. Reach the right arm up overhead for triangle. Send the hips towards the back of the mat. Gaze comes down to the mat. Let's remove the block, frame the foot, step it back. And this time, we'll give you a challenge to come down through your chaturanga. So very slowly down through push-up. And then inhale, cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. So if you're not familiar with chaturanga, don't worry about it now. We'll get there. But for those of you that do, just a little extra challenge. Taking a moment here in your downward facing dog. before we step it up on the inhale, halfway lift, and then exhale to fold. Inhale, arms come up overhead, and exhale, hands through heart center. Awesome work, everyone. Let's take a moment in Tadasana in mountain pose. So feet are hips width, shoulders are rolled up, and the crown of the head is lifted. Keep a micro bend in those knees so we're not locking the knees straight. Maybe close the eyes here. Let's inhale the arms up overhead. Grab the left wrist with the right hand. And on the exhale, press the hips to the left-hand side, upper body comes to the right for a side stretch. Really keeping the core engaged here, so really draw that navel to the spine. And then we'll release sides. So switch sides, come back up through center. And then switch the clasp of the hands, press the hips out to the right side. And gaze is just softly ahead of you. Inhale back to center, release. And we'll place the hands on the lower back, roll the shoulders up and back, and we'll come into a mini back bend. So we want to try and keep that pelvic bone neutral, and we're just doing the bend through our upper body. So we're really shining the chest forward. Release the back bend, and we'll come down to the mat through Malasana, through Yogi Squat. So option to grab the block in your hands. We'll bring the feet out wide, toes point to the outer edge of the mat, and then we'll slowly sink our hips down to the mat. You can put the block underneath the glutes when you get down to the bottom, and then hands come to heart center, gently pressing the knees away. Keep a tall spine. And then we'll move the block, release down, and come all the way down to seated. Setting up for Dandasana, staff pose. So let's make sure we have our blocks handy. We'll place them on the outer side of the hips, and our legs are outstretched. So keeping a slight bend in the knees. Inhale, draw the chest up, spine stays long, and then exhale, see if you can straighten the legs. Blocks can come under hands, or maybe we don't need them. You can just push them away to the side. Inhale back up to center, and we'll come into our forward fold. So if you've been struggling with this at all, you can place the block underneath your knees. If not, let's bend the knees, nice big bend in the knees. Inhale, roll the shoulders up and back, and then we exhale to fold forward. Maybe hands come to shins, maybe you can reach the toes or the feet. Wherever you are, just feeling a stretch in the hamstrings. Maybe a slight stretch in the lower back. Inhale back up to center, and we'll widen the feet out for our wide leg twist. So if you had the block on the inner right shin yesterday, let's do that again. And then on the inhale, we'll open that left arm up to the sky. Keep that left hip bone pressing down to the mat, making one long line with the left side of the body. So as much as we're reaching out towards the left and we're twisting, we're still keeping that torso very long here. Release the side and we will switch. So left hand comes to the inner left shin, right hand comes up to the sky. Gaze either up to the hand or anywhere in between there and the mat if the neck is a bit sore. Keeping that spine long. And then release down. Let's draw the feet together. Just move the blocks out of the way and we will come all the way down to our backs. Once we're on our back, let's give ourselves a big hug. So draw the knees into the chest and the head tucks in. Draw the head towards the chin. Nice big hug. And then exhale, plant the feet, release down. Draw the right foot up, cross it over the left, and either stay here or draw that left knee up to the chest and interlace the fingers behind the left thigh, coming into your supine figure four. This is good preparatory posture for pigeon. Too many P's. And we'll release the foot down and switch sides. So left foot draws over the right knee, And then either stay here or draw that right leg up towards the chest, interlacing the fingers behind the thigh. And enjoying this preparatory pigeon pose. Drawing the shoulders and the sacrum, so the lower back, down to the mat. Release the legs down, and we'll set up for our twist. So if you need the block, grab it now. Send the hips over to the left side, and the knees fall over to the right. Arms are either outstretched or in cactus. Option to bring the gaze over the left shoulder. See if there are any tense spots, and then release. Inhale back through center, we'll switch sides. So same thing, opposite side. Option to bring the gaze over to that right side. And once again, seeing if there are any spots of tension, and then breathing into those and relaxing more into the posture. Inhale, come back through center. And once again, we'll give ourselves a nice hug, knees come to chest, and then we'll slowly rock our way up to seated. Finding your way to cross-legged, switching the cross of the legs, and finding a nice tall seat as we close our practice here. So close the eyes, hands come to the knees, shoulders roll up and back. And we'll close our practice today with one big sigh. So exhale all the air out. Big inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. That is all for our practice today. Thank you so much for joining us on day 4, and we will see you tomorrow on the mat. If you are enjoying these classes, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll see you soon.